Hello fellow travel lovers, I'm back. I want to show you the Valley Relics Museum. It's in the Valley of California and I want to show you all the interesting stuff it has. The founder wanted to show basically the retro signs that are part of history basically, and so it would have gotten destroyed or whatever, but he wanted to keep it in a museum, so it's kind of cool that he kept all this stuff. Most of the people that kind of donated stuff like the aviation passports and like documents that they keep, that their grandpa probably kept, or people people that had these they wanted to just donate and show other people, so that's kind of cool. So you get a first-hand look at some of the aviation and stuff like that during World War II, World War One, kind of the World Wars back in the day, and so that's kind of cool. And then it's mostly a selfie museum as well, so you see you could take photos, selfies and stuff. And just take some time if you want to pause the video and read what they have if you can't really make it here. But if you can, I think you should actually come here and see everything, for yourself. And if you're like a traveler from somewhere else, you gotta come here, to the Valley. I think it's one of the kind of best, tourist destinations to see everything. And I guess if you're a big like Western fan, they have a lot of like documents and kind of cool movie scripts that they would keep back in the day. So that's kind of cool. And they just kept a lot of like retro cool stuff that will probably stay until for history's sake. So that's kind of cool to see. So I'll show you some of the aviation models, the plane models, and hope you enjoy it. Just some of the planes that they show. There's a pretty cool array of planes. They show you like a miniature model and some cool photos to accompany it. And they also have some documents that the pilots would use. I guess all the kind of necessary paperwork that they would have to kind of use in everyday kind of pilot life. So that's kind of cool to see. You also get like I guess you can also see how like the pictures they shot and all those cool stuff you could also check out. And a lot of it the whole kind of warehouse that the museum is in is basically a kind of airplane hangar. I guess they kind of kept for this museum.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now, when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put the fire out.
So here's basically the newspaper they would use in World War II. This is the jacket that they wore, and it's kind of cool to see that. I think it's kind of interesting to see what the headlines were back then. If you're a fan of World War II and the Cold War, stuff like that, which I'm a fan of. I kind of like seeing like how things were back then. So there's a different place and time. It's kind of cool to see this type of stuff and remember those days. Of course, we haven't lived it, but to see what these people have gone through is kind of incredible in a way. So I think for that reason, if you're interested, just check it out. And if you want to donate something that you probably have that's kind of rare or whatever, if you want to donate, just call them. They might be able to do that for you. I'm not sure, but if you have some interesting stuff about anything really, just ask them and see what you can do. But most of this is mostly donations and stuff, so it's kind of cool to see. And I'm glad that they kept it in a place like the hangar. The place is like in a Van Nuys airport, so you'll hear a lot of planes coming about and stuff like that. The only con I have about this place would be it gets too hot sometimes. So I think during the summer they don't have no like AC ventilation system. So basically you're gonna get really hot if you're there in the summer. I think in the winter they're probably more cooler and stuff. So that's the only con I have. So I don't think you like stay there the whole day unless you can handle the heat. I would say. But hopefully they could maybe fix that in the future. But everything else is really good, and I think you will really enjoy just seeing all the incredible things that they kept, and it just takes you back in a place in time, and that's kind of cool. So these are the retro signs they kept. And so if you know any kind of places that have retro signs that are closing down, you could just call them up and see if they could take it. In the founder's video, he has I'll put in the link below, but he has a video where they show how to take out the signs in different places and keep them. So you can see that video and see how they do it if you're kind of interested in that. And I think it's kind of cool, so I'll just link his video down below so you can check his YouTube channel out. I think it's pretty cool what he wanted to do and show everything. So and you could easily spend hours here. They have an arcade, so I'll show you that in my future videos. And I haven't really played the arcade, but they have that. Here you have some sports stuff, pretty cool. And they most of all this is basically surrounded by all the signs. Basically, I mean they have a bunch of other stuff, but mostly signs. And over here you have a retro lunch boxes. So I don't know if your parents or your family ever had that as a kid, but it was pretty big back then. I'm pretty sure the Batman phase, 60s Batman, and the big boom in the spy craze, of the 60s was also a big thing. Like they would have Get Smart, James Bond, and some other cool stuff, Man from U.N.C.L.E. And then Batman, 60s Batman was a pretty big one. So those, I'm pretty sure they kept it and they wanted to show people, how it was back then. I used to just take a brown bag to school with my lunch, but I would eat school lunch too, but never actually had a lunchbox. But I just imagine how, if you're like a big fan of any of the properties here, you just take it to school and kind of to show your friends. So that's kind of cool. So you could check that out. Pretty cool. I know that people collect lunchboxes. Like I think from an interview I heard that Dave Bautista collects lunch boxes, so I know a lot of people do, so it's kind of cool to see that if you're into that. And yeah, I think you'll like that. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in another thrilling city.